I don't think so much anymore in the sort of macro sense about the theater. I think I did when I was in my 20s and earlier. When I was a younger playwright, I think I was more prone to manifestos and thoughts of what theater should be and should do, and I don't. It's become a much more, this is paradoxical to a lot of what I've been saying, but it's become a much more private experience for me in the sense that I'm more confident in terms of just doing what I do. And obviously you create the type of art you'd like to see, so the types of plays that I find more interesting are plays that are challenging, disturbing, complicated, deal with big issues, don't feel like mere entertainment, but I recognize the place for all kinds of voices and stories to be told. But for me, the theater is a place where there's a greater likelihood that you'll be able to say things that people often feel they can't say or can't discuss or can't dramatize or talk about or see or hear or witness. I think there's a greater, I always I have lots of friends who are TV writers and film writers, and I always say, the one thing that's great about being a playwright, one of many, but one thing is because they pay you so little, you can do whatever you want. Nobody really cares, And then maybe if you hit the bullseye and lots of people care about your play, that's great. But for the most part, you write everything on spec, you write everything out of most playwrights, you write only what you care about. Producers, directors, they don't get involved until later, until they're interested in producing and directing it. So there's a greater freedom to really, to be idiosyncratic, to be truthful to yourself, Yeah. And I think, I've thought a lot about what's the difference between poetry and playwriting in the sense of, reading a book is very different from sitting in a group with people and experiencing a story. So of course that's hugely important for the theater, that you're witnessing a story together. There's something really powerful about that for me.